Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to be here to make a few presentations tonight. But one of the first presentations is actually going to be made to, and when I say this, I don't want other schools to be upset, but our very own Newark Tech Group 2 State Championship Boys Basketball Team. And when I say our very own, that's not to diminish anything that Eastside did because they had a fabulous year. It's not to diminish any of the other schools in Essex County. They all had wonderful years. But these young people are part of the vocational schools, Essex County vocational school system. And we're so very, very, very proud of our school system and so very proud of them. My name is Carol Clark, Freeholder Clark, and I represent the 3rd Freeholder District. And I am joined tonight by my colleagues on the Freeholder Board, our President, Madam President, Blonnie Watson, the Honorable Blonnie Watson, Freeholder Leonard Luciano, Freeholder Rolando Bobadilla, and the person who's going to help me make this presentation this evening, a woman who is no stranger to the vocational schools. She has formerly served on the Board of School Estimate of the vocational schools. She herself was a teacher, she's a retired teacher from the West Orange school system, an English teacher, and none other than our very own Vice President, the Honorable Patricia Sebo.
Thank you very much, Freeholder Clark. First of all, I have to tell you that the Essex County Vocational School System is very important to me. I serve on the Board of Education of the Essex County Vocational School System for 6 years. I also currently serve on the Board of School Estimate for the vocational schools, and as Freeholder Clark said, I am a retired teacher. I taught for 30 years at West Orange High School. So education is very important to me, and I have to tell you that basketball is very important to me. Many, many, many years ago, my father, when they had a different basketball system, played for Central High School. And because in those days he was 6 feet tall, he was considered very tall, and he had a very important position. And then after Central High School, he did play semi-pro basketball, and I still have some of his honors at home. So it's delightful for me to be here tonight. It's been 2014 has been a very good year for high school basketball in Essex County because we had 3 state championships, 3 state champions. Last week, we honored the phenomenal Shabazz girls basketball team who won it all again this year, as well as the Eastside boys basketball team who won the Group 3 state championship for the 2nd year in a row. But tonight's state champions are truly special to this Freeholder Board because you are our team from just across the street. You are part of our family, the Essex County Vocational Technical Schools, and we are as proud as we can be. And for the 2nd year in a row, I might add. So this evening, we are absolutely delighted to honor the boys basketball team from Newark Tech, the Terriers, for winning their 2nd consecutive Group 2 state championships.
We're a tag team here. Before I continue, I'm going to pause to ask our District Superintendent, Dr. Frank Cocciola, to please join me. Assistant Principal Aisha Ingram Robinson, Athletic Advisor Jerry Barker, and Head Coach Joe Jordan to join me at the podium. We also want to acknowledge our dear friend, a person who is no stranger to this board, the Vocational School District Business Administrator, Anthony Abaleo. Anthony, you want to come on up? Come on. Before I ask for some of these distinguished ladies and gentlemen to say a word, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about the team. In this year's state tournament, the Terriers defeated Lincoln, Richfield Park, West Side, and then Central High School to capture the North Jersey Section 2 Group 2 Sectional Championship for the second consecutive year. The team went on to defeat Pascack Hills and finally the mighty Camden High School 48-44 to win its second consecutive Group 2 state championship, only the third state championship in school history. The Terriers finished their season with a great record of 20-12, ranked by the Star-Ledger as the #1 Group 2 team in New Jersey and the #4 team in Essex County. The team's accomplishments were further recognized by the naming of 3 players to various All-Group, All-Essex County, All-Newark, and All-Freshman-Sophomore teams. And they are Tyree Sykes, Mustafa Lawrence, and R.J. Cole. I kind of lingered on the last one because I think I know a little something about his dad. So, Dr. Cocciolo, Ms. Robinson, Mr. Barker, and Mr. Jordan, it's our pleasure to present you with these commendations from the Freeholder Board for winning your second consecutive Group 2 state championship. Freeholder Siebold and I are going to distribute them. Your team has worked so hard and put in so many hours, as have the coaches and everyone, and your efforts have paid great dividends. You indeed are the champions, and there are very few teams and schools that can make that claim. Again, congratulations. Before I ask Coach Jordan to bring remarks and help us bring up the players, I'm certainly going to ask Superintendent and Vice Principal and AD if you would like to have a brief word before we bring the team up.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to Board of Chosen Freeholders for recognizing the team. I want to congratulate the coaches and the players. I've been, in my own history, I've only been here 3 months in the district, but in my own history, I have been a player, not like these boys. I have been a varsity basketball coach, but not with the success that these coaches have encountered. And I've been a high school principal for 10 years. And I can tell you that when this kind of a thing happens in a building, it energizes everyone. It energizes the school, it picks up the spirit of the building, the instructional staff, the students. So there's a benefit to the building and the program in addition to the benefit of the players. And it's not just winning that they benefit from the lessons that they're learning from their head coach and their assistant coaches. I congratulate all of you. It's a great thing. You can't always be a champion, but this is your year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to say congratulations to our boys team. You guys worked hard throughout the year. Continue to excel academically and athletically. Thank you for representing North Tech.
I'd just like to say these young men, from September to now, they grew up to be great young men. They started out being little boys, but they grew up to be men, and we're very proud of them. The schools and what they did off the court in the classroom were amazing. Thank you.
And finally, the architect, the guy that kind of puts it all together, the Kevin Ali, the Mike Krzyzewski, the Gino Ariama, the gentleman who gets you guys to give everything that you have in the pursuit of perfection and does it in a gentlemanly way. The head coach, Joe Jordan.
Thank you. I ordered $20 for those comments. First, I'd like to recognize Rob Cole and Rich Woods. You know, why don't y'all just come on up? Those are my assistant coaches and really the head coaches, and they do so much to help the program, to help the kids. Rich Woods, he was coming to a game and crossing the street by NJIT, and he got hit by a car, broke his leg, took 8 stitches in the top of his eye, hurt his back, and Rob Cole went to see him. He was laying on the ground, and he asked him, "Are you all right?" And he said, "I took a charge." So these are my guys. But I'm a storyteller, so I want to share one story because of time that I knew when we were champions. We played Central High School at Newark Tech, and I thought that was like the game. That was the game of the year for me. We won the game with 6 seconds or 8 seconds left. Sadat hit a shot, and we won the game by 1. But what happened was, at the game, Central, they brought the whole band, they brought the crowd. It was sold out game started at 7, at 6:50 the game was sold out. So what happened was, Sadat hits this shot for us to win, and the star player for Central is hurt, and the game was over, and he was crying. And you know, the security is making sure the kids are going to shake hands, but we weren't shaking hands at that time. And the kid's crying, he slumped over, and he has his head on somebody's shoulders, and he's crying his eyes out. And I knew we were champions then because the person he had his head on and was crying his eyes out on was Sadat. And Sadat told the security guard was trying to break him up, and he said, "Nah, I got him. I have him." And to me, I knew we were champions then because, you know, we're from the same neighborhood, and you were looking out for your friend. You just hit the game winner, you know, the shot of your life, but your concern was, no, you know, I won this game, but this is my friend. And at that moment, you know, to me, I said, all right, this crew is champions. You know, that had nothing to do with basketball. What it had to do was with your character. Your character as young men, as people, as humans. And to me, that was like my proudest moment of the entire season, you know. And what we'll do is, I always do this, instead of me introducing people, you're coming up to get your plaques, that's what you do. Mm-hmm. Tyree Sykes is the captain, first team All-Essex. You come on up and you introduce your crew.
Tyree, I'm going to let our captain hand you your first certificate. Captain to captain.
Tariq Hosley. Mustafa Lawrence. R.J. Cole. Benjamin Sarr. And Junior. It's Junior.
He looks like his mother. And we had 4 guys that are running track that are on here today. That's why we have such a small amount of guys. But we appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Sir, you're at the microphone. You can speak with the team.
First, like I said, it's more than a team. It's more like a family. Ever since I came into the school, we treated each other like brothers, and it was very conspicuous. Everybody saw us, and everybody seen that we wanted to make a change. And like, it's more than basketball. First, it's all start with academics, and we was all helping each other when we was down, and now everybody was on honor roll.
I think it's the last thing he said that really pulled at my heartstrings. He said they picked each other up, and now everybody is on the honor roll. That deserves a round of applause. There's something to be said for you as a band of brothers. First of all, you look fabulous because I don't know whose idea it was that all of you have your shirts either short sleeve or long sleeve, but I love it. I love it. And, all right, Ms. Robinson. So I love it because you look wonderful. You're representing Essex County, you're representing yourselves, and you're representing your families. Mr. Coles, young Mr. Coles, I knew your dad. I'm old. And I remember your dad playing because your dad was all state, all county. So here's the block, and you're the chip. Doesn't fall far. To the superintendent and to the athletic director, to the vice principal, to my other buddy over here. It takes everybody to meld these young people into a unit. And you guys, you just bring a lot of pride to the hearts of the Board of Chosen Freeholders and to your families. So God bless you and God keep you, and we only wish you the best going forward.
Outstanding presentation. This is really special. This presentation is to the Ironbound Community Corporation because they are celebrating their 45th anniversary. And as long as I have been a freeholder, I have known them well. So it's my honor to stand before you to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments and the milestone achievement in the life of one of our grassroots social service agencies right here in the city of Newark, the Ironbound Community Corporation. Today, our society has progressed in technology on many different levels. And although that is a good thing, in many ways we lose the one thing that this agency continues to perpetuate. And that one thing is a sense of neighborhood. And it is because of this very reason that we honor you today. You have made it your business to be your friend's keeper, and to ensure that the Ironbound needs are your needs, that the Ironbound's goals are your goals. And as a result, you have a pulse on how to best meet the needs and goals of the community. On a personal note, I've had the pleasure of knowing the executive director, Joseph Delafave, for many, many years, and I have seen the agency's work firsthand. With me are my colleagues and co-sponsors, Freeholder President Lonnie Watson and Freeholder Rolando Bobadilla, who will share in this presentation as well as highlights from the commendation. Before we call the Ironbound Community Corporation to the podium, each sponsoring freeholder will speak and share a portion of what is in the commendation. And my portion reads, the Ironbound Community Corporation is a community-based organization rooted in and representative of the ethnically diverse Newark neighborhood called Ironbound. Founded in 1969 by residents, its mission is to engage and empower individuals, families, and groups in realizing their aspirations and together work to create a sustainable community. Their target population is primarily neighborhood-based in the East Ward section of Newark, serving as a multicultural, multilingual population of 50,000 people, the majority of whom are foreign-born. At this point, I would like to ask Freeholder Rolando Bobadilla to join me at the podium and continue with his remarks.
Joe, to you and the board, congratulations on your 45th anniversary. You know, I had the pleasure of getting to know you as far as an organization a couple of years ago through one of your environmental seminars that you had and some of the work that the DEP was doing in the Ironbound. And I can only tell you that back then I was totally impressed, and I'm totally impressed now that you guys continue to do such excellent community work, providing vital services that we all need, especially in low-income, vulnerable populations. And you know, your contribution is paramount, and it helps build the quality of lives of those individuals that live in your neighborhood. And my portion of the commendation reads, the Ironbound Community Corporation reflects the diversity of multicultural, multiracial mosaic and the challenges they face in urban America. They impact the lives of nearly 1,000 people daily, servicing 3,000 annual clients, including 1,000 children who are from low-income households with low literacy and English proficiency and high stress and asthma rates. Their many programs are aimed to address unmet needs and service gaps, child support development and strengthen families, develop self-esteem, self-sufficiency, and civic participation in the community. So to you, Joe, and the board, and everybody in the team, you know, congratulations. Keep continuing to do the work because your community needs it, and they're getting great services. So thank you. Now I introduce Lonnie Watson, President Lonnie Watson, to the podium.
Thank you, Freeholder. Good evening. I'm Freeholder President Lonnie Watson, Freeholder at Large. And I am happy to acknowledge the Ironbound Community Corporation and congratulate you on your 45th anniversary. I recall this organization when I sat on the Board of Adjustments for the City of Newark. Remember Nancy coming looking at me with that frown, saying you guys better approve this ordinance, that we're trying to get some things done. And you know, when you see Nancy come before you, you had to say yes. You have made, your group, you've made a noticeable difference in the East Ward community and in the lives of the people you serve. I just said to Joe, I said, you know, when we grow up in the Central Ward, we're gonna be just like the East Ward Community Corporation. So we're getting there. We're trying, but you guys, we have to say that you're the best. You represent Newark really well. From your humble beginnings 45 years ago, with the opening of your first daycare center, to the anticipated completion of a $6 million state-of-the-art Children's Head Start Center, you have truly depicted a meaningful success story. Please allow me to share with you some other notable accomplishments that are included in the commendation. The opening of Riverfront Park in partnership with the County of Essex, I was there. The creation of 4 new community gardens, 9 foreclosed homes purchased and being rehabilitated for low and moderate income families, and that I commend you for because I'm an advocate for housing. Free income tax filings for 1,000 households and totaling $2.2 million in refunds, and the opening of a 80-unit affordable housing building, Ironbound's first in 30 years. You're to be commended. And at this time, I'll ask Freeholder Siebold to come back to the
Freeholder Watson commented about being in the Ironbound section for the opening of a park. I've been there so many times. I can't even count the hours because it's been going on, how the Ironbound section has been developing and getting better and better. The open space there now is just unbelievable along the Passaic River. It's something I never thought would happen. I really didn't think so, but it did, and that's what's so wonderful. So Freeholders Bobadilla, Watson, and myself, along with the entire board, hereby congratulates and commends the Ironbound Community Corporation on this special occasion of your 45th anniversary of serving Newark's Ironbound community by providing the training, education, and support necessary to improve their lives. As I mentioned before, the Executive Director, Mr. Joseph Delafave, is here, and I'd like to ask him to please join us at the podium and introduce your staff and say a few words for us, if you will, please.
Thank you, Freeholder Siebold. Thank you, Rolando, and President Watson, and everybody else here. Thank you so, so much. So let me first introduce who's here with us tonight, and can I ask them to please come forward? We have our Board President, Dave Robinson, Board Vice President, Johanna Morak, and our longtime board member, June Krasuski. Representing our longtime staff, Nancy Zach. Representing our newest staff, Sandy Rodriguez and Drew Curtis. And representing so many volunteers and activists in the neighborhood, Joe Nardone. And while June is making her way up here, not as fast as those young men from Newark Tech, but, you know, still pretty good shape. I just want to say that June has been a role model for young women in the Ironbound for forever. So I think maybe if I can, just before I say a few words, Dave, would you like to say something, our board president? And please, of course, you have to.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Johanna's here, and the members that are not here, we say thank you to the Board of Chosen Freeholders, our freeholders. On behalf of the 150 employees that we employ in the neighborhood, we say thank you. And on behalf of the probably 1,000 people we serve each day, we thank you. This is a great honor, and we really appreciate it. Joe and his staff has done an incredible job. through diversity, as we all can imagine. We have a long way to go, and he has incredible people that are working, that are from Newark people, and that you know, are making this part of Newark better each day. But again, we have a lot of work to do, and we appreciate all the support we get from the county, because we couldn't do it without you, that's for sure. So that's enough.
And so that we're not picketed at the next meeting, can I ask Nancy to come up and say a few words?
Good evening, everybody. I cannot tell you how many times we've been in this room on the other side of that fence, and yes, probably saying things very loudly. But it's just a joy to be back here and to stand with my colleagues here and to thank you, Freeholders, because as Dave said, without you, we couldn't really do as much as we do. It's amazing that the organization started in 1969 and, you know, began with a group of women who needed to go to work because some of them were single moms. They needed that daycare center, and that was the very beginning of Ironbound Community Corporation. And here we are 45 years later, and we're getting better, right? Bigger and better. And we are just thrilled. We've had a couple of wonderful years with the opening of the Riverfront Park. It's just a wonderful time to be in Ironbound. When I tell young people how Ironbound used to be, how there used to be explosions all the time of toxic, hazardous waste and chemicals, they can't believe me. And I say, go look in the library at the EJ exhibit and see what we had to go through. Some of the people like Joe lived next to an illegal dumping place that they were bringing truckloads of hazardous chemicals in at night. Thousands, there were tens and tens of thousands of barrels right next to South Street School. This was the kind of thing we had to work on, and we continue to have those issues of air quality, and we're continuing that work because there's a lot going on, and we just continue to appreciate our freeholders, and we'll see you on June 14th at River Day when we have the opening of this summer's programs. I'm sure we'll see everybody. Thank you so much.
So there's not much left, a whole lot more to say, but again, thank you very, very much. Riverfront Park has come up a number of times, and none of us can do much without the help of one another. It's partnerships that get things done so often, and the Freeholders, the county executive, obviously came through on Riverfront Park for us. 12.5 acres, and in effect, you increased open space in the Ironbound community by 50%. But you didn't only increase open space in the Ironbound, you laid the foundation for Newark's revitalization of its own riverfront. And so this is going to have a rippling effect for many years to come. And you can reach back a few years earlier when the Freeholders and the county executive helped us to clean up Riverbank Park, save it, and restore it. It was you who came in after a faulty cleanup initially, and in fact laid the funds down and the initiative to clean up Riverbank and keep it open for the community's use. You know, you mentioned so many of our services, early childhood education, all the way to senior services and everything in between. And this is the heart of our work. Nancy said we're getting bigger and better all the time. And I think it's important to emphasize we're not only bigger, but I think, in fact, we are better. Our early childhood programs close the achievement gap. Rather than children going to school 12 months, 24 months behind in language and literacy development, they're ready to learn at kindergarten age. Our family services strengthen families and are able to sustain children in their healthy growth and development for the long time. And we can go on and on. This is the heart of our work. But if services is the heart, the soul of our work is our community initiatives. It's the work that Nancy does. It's the work that so many people in the community do in order to enhance the quality of life and really strengthen the community and strengthen the Ironbound. And I think we know, you know, you look around at Newark and we're all for the entire city of Newark to grow and get healthier. But I think we also know if the Ironbound doesn't survive, how the heck can the rest of Newark survive? So we think our role in Ironbound is extremely important for the city as well as for the community. We look forward to just continuing to work with the county. It's been a great partnership the last couple of years. We look so much forward to it again in the future. And I hope to see you all at our 45th anniversary gala sometime in October, and we'll obviously keep you notified of that. Rolando, Pat, Blani, thank you so much. If I may call you by your first name, because I think we know you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Moving on to our next presentation tonight, I have the distinct honor to begin this presentation, which is to the Paper Mill Playhouse for their 75th anniversary season. My name is Leonard Luciano, and I'm the Essex County District 4 freeholder. My district encompasses the 11 West Essex towns out of the 22 municipalities here in Essex County. One of those municipalities is the township of Milburn, where the Paper Mill Playhouse has been. I am joined by my colleagues tonight, who I'm going to reintroduce in case anyone has entered into the chambers late. We have our District 1 freeholder, Rolando Bobadilla. My District 3 freeholder, Carol Clark. And our leadership, our Vice President, Patricia Siebold. And our President, Blani Watson. For the record, I also want to note some of our staff that is here. If it isn't for our staff, we wouldn't be able to put such great events together. We have our Freeholder Board Attorney, who's also from the Township of Milburn, Michael Parlavecchio. We have our Freeholder Clerk, Deborah Davis Ford. Freeholder liaison who works with putting together these resolutions and our outreach to the public. That would be Kathy Brown. Kathy. And let me not forget one of our employees that does a lot of work for us and helps put these events together, Maritza. Thank you, Maritza. So I'm joined by my colleagues to affirm the commendation by acclamation that we will present this evening to the Paper Mill Playhouse for achieving the milestone of their 75th season. The Paper Mill Playhouse has provided high-quality theater performances and strong commitment to the arts and many education and training programs. Personally, I'm a huge fan of music, dance, and theater, and have enjoyed many a production at the Paper Mill over the years. As an educator, I also appreciate their approach to nurture and cultivate the life of the arts in a season where many fine arts programs are being reduced. Before I ask our honorees to join us here at the podium, and we are joined tonight by Mr. Shay Miller, thank you for being here, and Mr. Todd Schmidt, thank you for being here. Before I ask you two gentlemen to join me up at the podium, I would like to ask my colleagues who are co-sponsoring this resolution to have an opportunity to come up here and speak and continue with the commendation. Freeholder President.
Thank you, Freeholder Luciano. Good evening.
Good evening.
And congratulations on your 75th season. My name is Freeholder President Blani Watson, Freeholder at Large. And I, too, have a love for the theater and the arts. My husband, Louis, is a musician and played with some of the famous gospel singers such as the Swanee Quintet and the Blind Boys. And we come from a long line of singers, musicians, and actors. So much so that my grandson, Kari, is currently studying musical theater at Susquehanna University in Pennsylvania, where he has a double major of global studies and musical theater. What a strange combination, right? We are so excited and proud that he was just inducted into the Musical Honor Society and the Phi Mu Alpha fraternity, where Luciana Pavarotti is a frat brother. So as you can see, theater is in our blood. And I understand firsthand the personal enrichment that takes place when one is exposed to the arts. I'd like to share just a small portion of what's included in the commendation. The mission of the Paper Mill Playhouse is to preserve and nurture the American musical theater art form, and it is an education center recognized throughout the region and the nation for its high-quality, innovative theater and training programs. They are committed to rediscovering and reimagining classic musicals, plays, training young artists, which is so important, and ensuring that the theater is accessible to all. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Freeholder Patricia Siebold.
Thank you, President Watson. Good evening. I am Freeholder Vice President Patricia Siebold, and I echo the sentiments of my colleagues. The Paper Mill Playhouse is honestly Broadway in our backyard. The scenery and quality of productions are second to none. I live close by because I live in Livingston, New Jersey. When my children were growing up, we used to go to the Paper Mill Playhouse all the time for special children's productions. And I must compliment you that you often send invitations for the freeholders to attend opening productions at the Paper Mill Playhouse. And I'm saying this because I saw one production that was just absolutely so marvelous. It made it to Broadway, it's still there, and it's doing wonderful, and that was Newsies. You remember? It was super. I couldn't believe that I was seeing something like this right next door to my town in Millburn, and then it went on to New York City and was such a tremendous success. That shows you the great work that the Paper Mill Playhouse is doing, and you certainly are. The highlight of the commendation also reads that the Paper Mill Playhouse began in 1934 when Antoinette Scooter purchased the then derelict Thistle Paper Mill with a vision of creating a permanent repertory theater. And in 1938, the Paper Mill Playhouse opened its doors. In addition to operettas, musicals, and plays, were incorporated into the theater's repertoire. In 1986, the National Endowment of the Arts ranked the Paper Mill Playhouse second in the nation for artistic excellence, surpassed only by the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. And in keeping with its credo, theater for everyone, the Paper Mill became the first theater in the country to present sensory-friendly performances for children with autism and with developmental disabilities. And at this point, it's my turn to introduce Freeholder Carol Clark.
Thank you. I'm Carol Clark, and I represent District 3, which is all of East Orange, all of Orange, all of South Orange, and parts of the Central and West wards of Newark. And of course, we know that South Orange has SOPAC, but Millburn has the Paper Mill. And I'm no stranger to the Paper Mill Playhouse. As a matter of fact, gentlemen, I'm getting ready to send back my RSVP for South Pacific, which will be, I guess it's next week. The quality of entertainment that you produce is second to none. And I look forward to it. And my mom looks forward to coming and seeing it. The kids that were in Oliver weren't they outstanding? I have supported you over the years, just as my other colleagues have, and I will continue to do so. because I understand the passion that is evident by the excellence of what we see, hear, and experience at the Paper Mill Playhouse. You need our help. You need our support. And we thank you and we congratulate you. The Paper Mill Playhouse has received many institutional awards, including the Discover New Jersey Arts People's Choice Award for favorite theater to see a musical, favorite place to take a kids' art class, and favorite professional theater and favorite arts theater camp. The American Council for the Blind Audio Description Project's 2010 Award for Achievement in Performing, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts 2009 Excellence in Accessibility Leadership Award. And that is absolutely true because Mom's in a scooter in a wheelchair and she doesn't have any difficulty accessing your theater. The 2009 Arts Presenters MetLife Award for Innovation and Excellence in Access, and the Cultural Access Network of New Jersey's 2010 Sustainer Award. You also, we're actually fortunate to have benefited, Essex County is fortunate to have benefited from you being in Essex County for 75 years. And it's because of that enrichment that our community is all the better. You know, in a couple of weeks, we have young people who are coming up to be celebrated. And the young person that I'm going to be celebrating actually has done all of the set design for Cecily Tyson. And I know that you acknowledge the rising stars, and that's something very, very special. The Paper Mill Playhouse is also one of the country's premier not-for-profit theaters and is a place where American musical theater is celebrated, cherished, and pushed in exciting new directions. The state-of-the-art facility rivals any theater on Broadway or off-Broadway with 1,200 seats and an enormous stage. An A-list of stars, directors, composers, choreographers, and technicians are attracted, making a memorable experience for all of the audiences to enjoy and to keep in their hearts forever. Freeholder Bobadilla is going to come up, and I think he's going to keep this show rolling.
Good evening. My name is Rolando Bobadilla, and I'm District 1 freeholder. So from November 14, 2013 through June 29, 2014 is the official 75th anniversary season of the Paper Mill Playhouse. Their rich history will be acknowledged with a season-long art exhibit in the gallery that will celebrate decades of theater entertainment. Every day, the Paper Mill Playhouse inspires life through unforgettable theater and by helping young people develop their artistic talents through educational programs. The community is enriched with hundreds of free cultural activities and sharing the joy of live theater with thousands of theater lovers with disabilities. For that, we thank you.
And in conclusion, it gives me great pleasure to say that on behalf of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, we hereby congratulate and commend the Paper Mill Playhouse on the occasion of your 75th anniversary season and for providing the high-quality theater performances, commitments to the arts, education, and training programs. At this time, I would ask for the two gentlemen who have joined us to come join me up at the podium, and please give them a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Todd Schmidt. I'm the Managing Director at Paper Mill Playhouse, and I would like to say how honored we are to be selected and to be recognized in our 75th season. Thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders of Essex County and say how proud we are to be in Essex County and to have been here for 75 years and hopefully for another 75. Paper Mill has been a truly unique and special organization. Founded in the midst of the Great Depression, we have developed into a world-class theater known throughout this country. I think we represent New Jersey well throughout the region and throughout our state and throughout this nation, with productions like Newsies that we've referred to that has made it to Broadway. We opened last fall with a show that will end up on Broadway, we hope, next year called Honeymoon in Vegas. We are starting our first performance of South Pacific this evening in about 50 minutes. And we're looking forward to our next season coming up, which will include 3 brand new works that we're introducing to the American Musical Theater, starting with a big revival of a cherished American musical called Can Can in an all-new production that we hope will end up in New York and on Broadway and across the country. We're also doing the new production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame in partnership with Disney Theatrical Group, which we worked on Newsies with. And we'll be closing next year with the world premiere of a new musical called Ever After, based on the film that starred Drew Barrymore. So we're very proud of what happens on our main stage. We're also equally proud of the work that happens in our education and outreach departments. As the Freeholders have mentioned, we're nationally known for our work in access services. We were the first theater in the country to offer performances for children and their families on the autism spectrum. We're very proud of that work, as well as our work with hearing impaired, blind, and all the accessibility issues that we deal with at Paper Mill, to make it truly a place for everyone to see. And for our educational programs that reach out across Essex County, into Newark, and throughout the state, to introduce theater to children who are economically disadvantaged, and to introduce theater to children all across the state. More than 50,000 young people participate in our programs throughout the year. That joins the over 250,000 artists, patrons, educators, and children who come to Paper Mill every year. And so we're very proud of having been here for 75 years. We thank the Freeholders, and we hope to be here a long time to come. Shane?
Thank you, Todd. One of the things that I'm most proud of is Paper Mill's economic impact on our community. We're very active with the Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Melbourne Development Alliance. Thank you, Ironbound, for sticking around to listen to us. It would be very lonely here without you. You know, we have a yearly budget of about $15 million, and that spawns, you know, more than $100 million worth of economic activity. We are the economic engine of downtown Melbourne, and I know that we add to the tax base of Essex County as well. And we would just like to thank you for this award. Thank you for recognizing us. Thank you.
So much.